What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. So the on again off again Crystal Lake series, that again on again off again, this thing has been in what some of us would call development hell. It got confirmed it was going to be happening, then supposedly it got canceled, it got put back on, canceled, but now apparently the last reports we had was it was put back on. They were moving forward with casting, and I think with this casting announcement, I would say we have some more confidence that the series is actually going to now take place, and it's supposed to be taking place via the Peacock streaming platform. So as you see here, Linda Cardellini, I think that's how you pronounce her last name, officially to star as Pamela Voorhees in Crystal Lake series from A24. So as you can see here, after early reports that Peacock's Friday the 13th prequel series Crystal Lake from A24 may have found its Mrs. Voorhees last month, it's now officially Linda Cardellini. Again, I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. Has officially signed on to star. Deadline reports today, and this report, this says today, but this was late yesterday. This report came out. The series version of Pamela Voorhees is believed to be a mother who had given up a singing career to raise a special needs child and takes a dark turn when she loses her son. Now, I'm pretty sure, if memory serves me correct, that's not something they ever touched on in the very first film, Friday the 13th, because if you don't know, and you should know, spoiler alert, that Mrs. Voorhees was the killer in Friday the 13th. It was not Jason. Jason didn't become the killer until the second film, and then subsequently the sequels after. But yes, Mrs. Voorhees was the killer in Friday the 13th. And again, I don't recall them ever mentioning or alluding to a singing career. That could now just be an additional added story, because this is going to be a prequel. And it mentions here that she loses her son. Now let's keep reading, because I don't think this series is going to, I thought this series was going to cover that Jason is alive, and then somewhere along the series she loses her son. That's what my initial thoughts were. But how this reads is that Jason is already dead. He's already supposedly drowned. So let's keep going. Betsy Palmer played Mrs. Voorhees in the original film, revealed to be the killer behind the camp counselor slayings in retaliation for the drowning of her son Jason. Brad Caleb Kane is the showrunner for Crystal Lake. And then we have here, this is all information we mostly know here, this next little bit as far as casting, but we're going to cover it just to make sure we don't miss anything. In addition to Kane, executive producers on the series include A24 Victor Miller, who wrote the screenplay for the franchise's original 1980 film. Miller's copyright attorney Mark Toberoff, Robert M. Barazmin, and Robert P. Brazmin. The project will mark A24's first major IP-driven project amid a recent effort to expand in a more commercial direction. And we just give some brief, as far as what their thoughts are, why they're interested in doing Friday the 13th, things of that nature. To refresh your memory, Peacock had been given the project a straight-to series order in 2022, with Crystal Lake being described as an expanded prequel to the original Friday the 13th franchise, featuring both Jason Voorhees and his mother, Pamela. With this key casting now official, expect to hear more details on this upcoming series soon. So now this right here kind of contradicts the statement above. So again, unless there's going to be something once it gets finalized, we don't know anything for certain until we know exactly the synopsis, the summary of this series. We start getting some teasers, some trailers, some additional casting. But just right here alone, it mentions featuring both Jason, right here, being described as an expanded prequel to the original Friday the 13th franchise, featuring both Jason and his mother, Pamela. So if we go back up to the top to that initial statement, right here, had given up a singing career to raise special needs child and takes a dark turn when she loses her son. So based on both those statements, I think our initial thoughts are going to probably be correct, that this series will probably start off the fact that maybe episode 1, we get some flashbacks of her singing career, or maybe she had just given it up, and we'll get some flashbacks throughout the series. And that's when she decides to work at the camp, Jason's there, and then maybe 2 or 3 episodes in, Jason supposedly drowns, and then that's where then we see the downfall of Mrs. Voorhees starting to take that dark turn for the last however many episodes. So we don't even have an episode count on this yet. I would not be surprised if this just turns out to be an 8-episode series. That seems to be the route every new series is going towards. 10 is hopeful, and 10 to 12 used to be the standard, but it seems again now 8 is the new standard, the new foundational set of episodes we get per series. Hopefully we don't go the Dune prophecy route where we're only going to get 6 episodes. I think that'd be far too short to tell this particular prequel story. So hopefully we get at a minimum 8. I would hope for 10, again, just to really see the downward spiral of Mrs. Voorhees believing that Jason has drowned. So there you have it. We finally have confirmation. We are starting to get casting news for Crystal Lake, the series from A24, which will come to us via the streaming platform Peacock. But we have, again, no dates as to when we can expect to see this series. This is the first casting announcement we've gotten, so I'm sure there will be a lot more castings to come before we even get those dates and then officially get a summary and synopsis of how this is going to play out. But just from this article alone, as I already mentioned, it does appear we will see the child version of Jason before he drowns, and then subsequently once he drowns, and then the downward spiral of Mrs. Voorhees. So drop a comment in the comment section. Let us know what you think about the casting. Do you think this is a great casting for a young Mrs. Voorhees? Also, drop a comment if you are interested, or if you're not interested in this series. I would like to know, who's all looking forward to this. I'm, for one, looking forward to this. I was looking forward to it initially when it was announced, and I am glad to see that it has made its way back to the table with a green light and casting news. And if you haven't done so already, please like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Otherwise, we'll see you at the next one. Peace.